Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Restaurant and Bar Marketing Podcast. This is your host, Eric Schellenberger from Los Angeles. In this episode, I want to talk about website platforms and which is the correct one and the incorrect one for your restaurant or bar. So there's a lot of different options when it comes to websites, website platforms, actually what they're built on. There's a lot of different structures, whether you pay monthly, but whether you pay once, whether you don't pay at all. And there's a couple things to keep in mind. The main thing that I think we have to remind ourselves, it's not about how pretty the website is. It's about how many potential customers see it. So the visibility of the website is 99% of the reason why we do this. And the pretty pictures are nice. And yes, it does have to look impressive. It just has to look appetizing. It has to look good. So my rule of thumb is that I always say if you hire a website designer, which I've been a website designer for going on 20 years now. I used to quote websites back when I worked for somebody else a long, long time ago. And we would quote the website based on what we thought they could afford. So it was an insane way to do it. I did not run the show, and it was crazy the way that operated. But I mean, really the same exact amount of work that costs one person $1,500 would cost the next guy $10,000. And I've actually seen a restaurant website for $10,000, which was a very basic 3-page deal, both built on WordPress, and it was maybe a $200 photo shoot, could have done the whole thing. And they got this restaurant owner to pay $10,000 for that website, which I don't know how that's even possible. I mean, greatest salesman in the world, who knows, but definitely a ripoff. So the rule of thumb, $1,500 should be all you need to spend. You don't need something elaborate. You don't need it. Have all these crazy, all these other pages like the news and the events and those pages that you know damn well you're going to write coming soon. You're never going to change it from coming soon. It's always going to say coming soon. Keep it very, very simple. Homepage, a menu page, a contact us page, maybe something else about the restaurant, but that's all you need. So the 4 platforms I want to talk about are 5. WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, BentoBox, and PopMenu. And here's how they break down. So I'm a WordPress web developer. I've been using WordPress for a long time. I love WordPress because it's open source. You can kind of do anything you possibly want with it. You can change your theme, which the theme is kind of like, think of it as a template. You can change the theme to whatever you want. Now with page builders out there, there's a couple of page builders. One's called Elementor. One's called WP Bakery, which is WordPress Bakery. With these, all it is basically it gives you a drag and drop interface, I guess. So it's real simple to add your text, your photos, whatever buttons you want to, add anything you want to, and make the website look exactly how you want it to look. So the theme is kind of irrelevant anymore because if we're building this thing with blocks that we put into place, a photo here, I want a video here, I want a slideshow here, I want some text here, I want my contact information there, cool. You can make it look however you want to make it look. The best part about WordPress is you can it comes with themes for free. So once you download it, it's free. You download it through GoDaddy, whoever your provider is. When you install it, it doesn't cost a dime. Hosting does. That's different. That's what GoDaddy or whoever provides to host any website. So that's independent. So WordPress itself is free. So you can buy a theme if you want it to look a little slicker. And some of these themes are made by third-party authors. They look great, and they have a lot of information already built in. So you can basically take their look and replace their photos with your photos, replace their images and copy with your copy. And then you already have an idea of what it's going to look like finished. WordPress is my favorite for a couple of reasons. Not only is it free, but with the amount of plugins available, any feature that one of these other websites have, whether it's a monthly fee website or whatever, you can just search for that plugin, plug it into your WordPress site, and there you've got the same capability. And there is no monthly fee with WordPress at all. So the only thing you should do if you need to hire a web designer to put it together, like I said, $1,500, you're done paying. That's it. You do have to make updates to it every once in a while, but they're very simple. These days, GoDaddy will automatically make those updates for you through their hosting account. So technically, your website's going to be updated regardless of whether you touch it or not. Wix and Squarespace, these are the two that are they're cheaper. They have a monthly fee associated with them. It's usually like $25, $50, $99 in some cases, but usually it's about $50 a month. These are very simple, easy to use drag and drop interfaces. You can it's probably the easiest out of all of them. It doesn't really come with somebody doing it for you, but it's pretty simple. If you want to log into the dashboard, you move your stuff around, you update your menu, you update your contact information, whatever it is. It's pretty simple. The search engine visibility of these is okay. It's not great. It doesn't give you a whole lot of options to plug in alt and meta information, plug in basically the information that Google looks for in order to rank you toward the top of a search results for restaurants near me or whatever. The visibility is, and the options we have to appeal to Google are nowhere near as robust as WordPress. If you want something for very cheap, if you want to just hand it off to whoever, your GM, your manager, and say, hey, we just update the menu, and they know how to do it or they can figure it out in 10 minutes, probably not a bad idea. If you're in a big city and you want to dominate search results, absolutely not a good idea. So the next ones on the list are PopMenu and BentoBox. PopMenu, they have a very slick sales pitch, and those are the guys that will tell you that they have this thing built in, which is I believe they say it's a pop, meaning what that is this public is able to rate every one of their menu items and comment on a menu item. So if there's a menu item on the menu, they can hit the like button for that menu item, or they can comment, greatest ribs I've ever had on that menu item. And that's available for all the menu items. It sounds great. And to a restaurant, it's like, oh my God, that's awesome. And then if somebody gives you a 1-star review or talks trash about you, that doesn't even go live. That comes internally. So you get to get that customer back. It's like, oh my God, how does it get this good? In reality, I've never seen the public actually use that feature because it's very confusing on the public facing side. No one knows what it is or why it is. And it just has a little heart when you, and this is back in the day, they may have changed it, but you would mouse over the menu item and a little heart would pop up. And if you click that, it opens up a dialog box. And then people are like, what is this? I don't even know what this is for. It's very confusing to the public. The only pops and the only likes you actually saw on these were from either the owners or from the PopMenu people that would populate a couple of them once the site got live just to make it look like there was some content on there. But I've never seen it used at all in public. Maybe it has, but I've personally never witnessed it. They also are really, really big on making live text menus. So their menus are not PDFs, they're not photos, they're live text, which is awesome. Live text menu is absolutely the way to go. So the PDF menu is kind of a thing of the past. It's kind of dying. I hope it goes away. And now with QR codes, the QR usually, hopefully, will go to a live text menu anyway, to where you can update that you can log into the back end. You can go to that menu item if there's a price change it real quick in the text, hit save, bang, you're good to go. It's not like you have to go in and have your graphic designer redesign the PDF menu again, take it in, have this guy, he's not going to return your email, your phone call. It's a mess trying to get a hold of him. And then you got to upload it again. Now it's too big. And now the file size is ridiculous. It takes it 20 seconds to load. It's just a mess. Whatever you do, stop using PDFs as menus on your website. Start using a live text menu. They're really simple. If you want to do a really rudimentary $0, brain dead way to do it, you can copy and paste from a Word document or any sort of Google Doc and just paste it right into a page. It won't look that good, but it can be done. In all those, they're in PopMenu's big selling point is that all those menu items are searchable by Google, which is true. If they'll say, and here's their pitch, they'll say, okay, well, you're a rib restaurant, and I Googled pulled pork sandwiches in your city, and you didn't even show up in the top 20 results. Okay, sounds like there's a problem, but really, nobody searches like that. The public does not search by a menu item unless it's a very specific, very one-off, a very, very focused menu item. They don't search like that. They're going to search for barbecue near me, BBQ near me. That's it. So the pitch is kind of I don't know whether it's a shady or a tricky way to get somebody in there to buy your product or not, or maybe they just don't know this. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know, but I've never Googled what I was going to order on the menu in my life, and I don't know anybody else who has either. So I put it to the test, and I ran a bunch of menu items through a Google search volume tool that I have, and it'll tell me how many people per month in my area are searching that word. And so I searched, this is when I was putting book 3 together, and I searched about 50 different menu items, and not one of them had real search volume going to it. Without it being, I think the only exception was one. The place was called a Philly cheesesteak place. So the name of the place was Philly cheesesteak something or other. That had volume because it's not just a menu item, it's other things. Other than that, there's really no search volume that is associated with menu items that I've ever seen. I don't like the sales pitch. I think it's disingenuous. It really doesn't do much. But going back to live text menus, Google, yes, does crawl that stuff. It does index your information based on those words. So it is a really good idea to have Google figuring out what you are. If you have a bunch of barbecue items, Google's going to eventually know you're a barbecue place. Even if you screw up the rest of your online presence, it's going to sort of figure out that maybe they should rank you. You're never going to rank number one for a barbecue place if it's that messed up. But Google's going to associate you with barbecue searches. So good idea to do. They got some flaws. BentoBox is the next one. The BentoBox is absolutely the worst ranking in Google platform I've ever seen. It's absolutely awful. And it looks like they use a JavaScript blocker or a JavaScript to create the website, which is not what Google wants to see. And I've gone round and round with clients of mine that had a BentoBox website, and I'm doing everything I can on my end to optimize and to get them to the top of the Google results, and they're not budging. I mean, I've got everything working against me because I can do everything what's called off page, which is everything external to the website. You work on your Google business profile, work on your presence on Yelp and TripAdvisor and Bing and all these other places, all the AI computers. I can do everything in the world on that end. But the on-page content, which is the code and the content internal to your website, is so messed up and so not Google search friendly that it's fighting me the entire time. So now, if I have a client that I'm bringing on that has a BentoBox website, I have to give them the disclaimer of, look, this is not going to work how I would like it to work. Yes, it's going to give you an advantage. It's going to help a little bit. It's not going to be a light switch of business turning on. I would avoid BentoBox at all costs. Going back to my original thought, it's not what's on the website. It's not how easy it is to operate. It's how many people see it. So if it's this invisible to search engines, what are we doing? What's the point here? BentoBox and PopMenu are also very, very expensive monthly. They're anywhere from, I think I've seen them on the low end, $250 a month, up to, I've had a client that was paying $600 per month for one of those platforms. I don't remember which one it was. $600 per month is a ton to spend on a website. It's absolutely insane. And he bought every bell and whistle and every single add-on you could because the salesman was amazing. I don't know how this happens, but it does. So, I mean, my opinion, do not spend money on monthly fees for a website. It's unnecessary. You have disadvantages as far as that goes. The only thing they're selling you is ease of operation. With BentoBox, with PopMenu, they have people who would take photos for you. They have a photographer coming down. They have people that'll put it together for you. They have, it's kind of a concierge service. I call this the luxury car or the Mercedes of website platforms. But keep in mind, you're married to that price forever, for the rest of your life, for the rest of that restaurant's life. That's what you're paying per month. And it racks up really, really fast. In my book, I have an example that over a decade of that, I don't even know it was that much. I think it was $4.99 or something like that a month. It would have cost them the equivalent of about $50,000. Not sure the exact math. Don't quote me on that, but it's in the book. It's in book 3, the example of how expensive monthly websites really are. So going back to being found. So at Bar Marketing Basics, that's what I do for a living. I get my clients to the top of the Google search engine results, to the top of the AI computer search results, and so on, because that's really the entire point of having an online presence, is getting somebody to see you as an option, walking in the door and spending money. And I've got a bunch of videos on search engine optimization or SEO. A lot of them are, it's a relatively dull subject. It's really nerdy, and I lose people quickly because it gets deep and it gets very complicated. There's a lot of math that goes behind it. There's a lot of very technical aspects. You have to build exactly the right structure to where Google likes the formatting, the technique you use, the right words in the right places with the right consistency. And it does have to be done in a very specific scientific way. Well, that applies to both on-page and off-page, the code inside the website and everything outside the website, like your Google business page. So all that stuff has to be done perfectly, and it has to be kept up on. It has to be, you can't just set it and forget it. It has to be improved and add new images, add new tags to new images, add new things to your profiles all the time for it to be effective. And it gets to be relatively either it gets really expensive or it gets to where you're going to hire somebody to do it in-house and they're going to do it for a month or a day or a week and then they're going to drop off. They're never going to touch it again. That happens 99% of the time where I see somebody that's in-house that is their SEO guy. One of the funny things about all these monthly fee websites is they all say the same thing. They say search engine optimization is included at no cost. That's a very, very broad word. It could mean a million different things. So what they really mean, if you get down to what do they mean by that? What they mean is it's basically a mobile-friendly version of a website, which these days 99% of every website is mobile-friendly. It formats on a phone. It looks great on a phone, just like it does on a tablet, just like it does on a computer. And it'll what's called responsive. It's responding to different formats of screens. That's really what they mean. So is the built-in SEO that they offer going to get you to the top of the search results? Absolutely not. In no universe that's ever going to happen. But again, it sounds cool. And so if someone like me is doing search engine optimization for a monthly fee and they say, why am I paying you $350 a month to do this? It's already included. I say, okay, let's look at the back end and see what they're doing. And there's no zero done. There's nothing ever done. It's not like they'll put the name of the restaurant in one of the fields. The rest of the fields are blank and they'll walk away because it is a very, like I said, it's a monotonous, boring job. It's not sexy. It's not visual. It's not social media. It's none of those things. It's just a grind. And I'm one of the weird ones. I'm one of the weird ones that enjoys it, but I'm the 1% of people that it just, you lose everybody because it's so dull. No website is going to get you anywhere near the top of the search results. The only exception is that you have a really, really long history. If you have a URL, then you've been there for 20 or 30 years and you had a URL when they first came out and you're one of the guys that's been there forever and your website is outdated by 10 years. A lot of times it doesn't matter. I've seen it happen to where enough history and you got that juice to where you're going to be up there no matter what. I've seen it happen in tourist economies. I've seen it happen to where I was a tourist and I was on the other side of this thing doing a search and I'm like, man, this is the worst non-mobile friendly website. Looks like it was built in 95 and somehow they're at the top of the search results. That's why, because they've been around since 95. With that exception, everybody else has to work for it and they have to do the right things to get it to the top of those search results. And I've done a bunch of videos on AI. I won't get too into that, but keep in mind, AI searches are going to be the next thing. They're going to start taking a huge chunk of Google's traffic, and they are going to be even more demanding than the websites and the platforms and the information that's out there right now. They're going to want to know everything about you, not just your About Us page and your menu and what's your contact information like a Google Knowledge Panel has. That is going to be the bare minimum, and it's not really going to help you. These AI computers are going to want to know everything like, is there a transgender neutral restroom? Do you have patio seating? Do you allow dogs? Are you open for brunch? Do you have bottomless mimosas? Do you have valet parking? And this goes on and on for 60 or 70 what's called attribute questions. So if that stuff isn't plugged in and you aren't telling these AI computers what you're all about, you're going to get glossed over and you're going to get missed before you even end up as a possibility in somebody's a hungry potential customer's search online. You're going to get filtered out before they even get a chance to get in the running for that. So on the customer side, and I think it's actually a great way to do it, AI is going to dominate everything and they're going to revolutionize the way we search for restaurants and bars, because instead of doing a restaurants near me, and now I'm wading through 60, 70 here in LA, hundreds of restaurants. And it's like, nope, I don't want, I don't want French. And then, okay, let's say, okay, I want Mexican, type in Mexican. Now there's 50, 60, 70 around me. Okay, now we look through those. I want one with a patio. So patio, and now you get very few because most of the Mexican restaurants, they don't tell the search engine they have a patio. So it gets to be convoluted. It gets to be a mess. And a lot of people just drop off and say, you know what, screw it. I'll just go to whatever one's right here. With these AI searches, if we're telling these AI computers 60, 70, 100 different attribute questions, now when I plug in my predetermined search for a restaurant and I plug in the 20 things I want to see, all I have to do is go to my AI computer and go and hit the search restaurants button. And there's 1 or 2 or 3 perfect results, exactly what I asked for. I don't have to wade through a bunch of crap anymore. There they are. So that's where the customer is going to end up going, because the AI is way, way more specific and accurate than Google ever thought it'd be. That's it for now. Just do not spend too much money on a website. Don't take it too seriously about the appearance of the website, and make it look good. Don't go overboard. Do not spend monthly fee on a website. If you can help it, $1,500 for a total website build and $0 per month in a perfect world is what you should be paying. All right. Hope this helps. Have a good one.